Hello and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another declutter video. Today we are working on my concealers as well as my face powders. So we're going to get started with my concealers first, and then I have a bunch of translucent powders and face powders that I also want to get through in today's video. If you are new to my declutters, I will have a playlist linked down below. I've done quite a few declutters now, so you can go ahead and check out the playlist if you want to watch more from me. Make sure you guys subscribe before we get started, and let's get into it. Alright, so this video has been on my list for quite some time because I know I have a lot here that I want to declutter, that have been in my way, that I've been needing to get rid of. So let's go ahead and start here. I'm going to get into this one first. This is from Maybelline, and this is the Age Rewind Concealer. I know that this is the wrong shade for me. This one is in 02 Light, and I know that even knowing I've used so much of this concealer, I know that this is the wrong shade for me. I've used this and it's super old as well, so I know I can declutter that one. And let's get into some that I know that I want to keep. So I have a couple here from Kylie. Where is my other one? Here. Okay. So I have two different ones from Kylie Cosmetics. I recently purchased these and I actually really do like this concealer. I really like the way it feels on my under eyes. I feel like it doesn't cake up. It looks really nice. I have two different shades. So I have the shade Stone, and then I also have Bone, which is kind of funny. I think I'm going to go ahead and keep both of them. I think that the Bone shade works best on my skin tone, but I think I'm going to hold on to both of them because when I am a little bit fairer, I can use this shade. So I'm going to hold on to both of those. Next, I have this little one from Benefit. This is the Fake Up Concealer, and I remember I do not like this one. So basically, it's just like a little travel size. I've used up quite a bit of it, but I know I can go ahead and get rid of that one. Next, I have this one from Bcash, and I remember this was so thick on my under eyes. I did not like it at all. I'm going to go ahead and say the same thing for this one from Gorgeous Cosmetics. They're very similar in their formula. Both of them were just really thick and really heavy, so I can declutter both of those. Next, I have two different ones from Doll 10. These are the Hydro Balm Precision Concealers, and these are like little concealer pens. They have like a little triangle to them, and I actually really like these. I like using them. They're actually really hydrating. I normally don't really like stick concealers, but I've really been enjoying these, so I'm going to hold on to actually both shades. I have light and medium. And then also another stick concealer, I have this one from Neutrogena. This is the Hydro Boost Concealer. I absolutely love this one as well, and it is a stick formula, but it's one of my favorites. I'm going to hold on to this one. So I have two different concealers from ColourPop. This is their No Filter Concealer. I have the shade Light and then the shade Fair. So Fair is obviously way too light for me, and Light honestly is too light as well. I use this more for like mixing with other concealers to kind of highlight, and then this one I've been using to prep for eyeshadow and using it as an eyeshadow base just because it is way too light for me. I don't know what I was thinking. When I just made my recent ColourPop order, I actually purchased another shade that I think will work better for me. So I think I'm going to keep these just because I have been finding different ways to use them, but I definitely am excited to get my newest shade and hope that that works better. Next, I have this one from LA Girl. This is their Pro Conceal, and I just don't really care for this. I think I just don't like the applicator. It has like that brush and you have to squeeze it out. I know a lot of people really like these, but I wasn't really a fan. This little one from NARS, this is one of their Radiant Creamy Concealers. I absolutely hated this. I hated the formula. I paid, I think, $12 for this tiny little thing, and I was so mad that I didn't return it because I really didn't like the formula. So I am definitely decluttering this one. Next up from NYX, I have two of their HD Studio Photogenic Concealers, and I really like the formula of these, and I actually really enjoy them. So I have 05 and 02. 02 is a little bit light for me, but like I said, I like using them for just kind of highlighting. I like mixing them together, so I'm gonna hold on to both of these. This is a really great affordable concealer. From Pure, we have the Shake and Bake. So this is the powder to cream. I actually think that this is really good. It's kind of like a gimmicky product, but I actually really enjoy it. I think it actually works, and it's nice because you don't have to set your under eyes. You can just use this and be done, and also it works really well with a sponge, so I'm gonna keep this one. Next, I have quite a few of some like squeeze tube concealers. So I have this one from Estee Lauder. This is the Double Wear Concealer, and I actually do really like the coverage of this one, and I enjoy it. Also really like the Hydrogel Concealer from Doll 10. So I think I'm going to hold on to both of these. And then I have the Studio Pro Total Coverage Concealer from BH Cosmetics. This one I wasn't as much of a fan of. It's very high coverage. I think it's too high coverage for me. So I think I'm going to declutter this one. Some more favorites in my collection that I'm going to hold on to all of these. I have the Healthy Vitalist Concealer from CoverGirl. I've really been enjoying this on days when I like kind of light coverage, and I do really enjoy this one. I also have the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. This is another one that I've been enjoying. Of course, Tarte Shape Tape we have to keep because that's always a classic. And then I really like this one from YSL as well. This is their All Hours Concealer. I really enjoy the formula of this one, and I reach for it quite often. So these are just some of my favorites that I'm going to hold on to. And I have this one from Wet n Wild, and this is in Light Ivory. I think this one is about up. I really have to scrape when I use it, and I think that this shade also doesn't really work well for me, and I've had this a while, so I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one, and I might replace it because I do really like the formula of it. I just think it's time to get rid of this one. And then I also have like some color correctors here as well that I want to go through. So I have this one from NYX, and this is one of their HD color correcting concealers. I do not need this one. I got the green one because I feel like a lot of people, when it first came out with color correcting, I feel like a lot of people were like, you need it, you need it. So I remember picking this one up, and it's like I don't even have redness, so I don't know why I felt the need to buy this. So I can declutter that one. And then also, obviously, the green one, I don't really deal with much redness, so I feel fine getting rid of that one. I really like this one though from Essence. This is their dark spot one, and it's just like a crayon. I like applying this on days where I do light makeup. I feel like it's really nice and it blends really nicely out. So that one I do want to keep. The purple one is going to be for the wake up effect. So this one's going to help like brighten. I don't think I really need that one either. I do like this one. So this one is going to kind of do the same thing as the peach one. It's going to kind of conceal those under eyes. So I'm going to keep that one. Then we have the yellow one, and this one also works really well for dark circles, but I don't use the yellow one as much. So I think I'm going to declutter that one. And then we're just left with these three. So we have this one from Cloven Hollow, and I actually really enjoy this concealer. I really like the formula of it, and I like the applicator as well. So I'm going to hold on to that one. And then we have these two different ones. So I have this one from Julep. This is the Cushion Complexion, and you can actually use this one as a foundation or as a concealer. It has that little cushion applicator, and I do like this one as concealer. I feel like it works really well. I also like it as foundation, so I think I'm going to hold on to that one. And then we have this one from MAC, which is my Pro Longwear Concealer, and you can tell that it's well loved. I do use this from time to time. Only thing I don't love is the applicator on here. I feel like it's just kind of annoying that you have to pump it out, but I do use this when I have more self-tanned skin because it is a darker concealer. I use it for spot concealing. So I'm going to keep this one. All right, so here is our decluttering pile. I am decluttering 14 different concealers. And then we have my keep pile, which is a little bit too large, but I have 21 that I am going to go ahead and keep. A lot of these are duplicates. I have 2 of the Kylie, 2 of the ColourPop, 2 of the HD. I also have 2 from Adele 10. So we have quite a few duplicates, but that is just because I use them for different things, whether it be highlighting purposes or just concealing. So I'm going to go ahead and hold on to all of these. We didn't do so great, but I feel good with the ones that I did get rid of. So now let's go ahead and move on to the powders. All right, and now we are moving on to my translucent powders. Now I hope to do better on this one because there's a lot of them here that I know that I do not use that I feel comfortable getting rid of. So let's go ahead and get started with these. The first one I know that I want to declutter. This is from Airspun, and this is their loose face powder, and this is in translucent. A lot of people love this and use it as a dupe for the Laura Mercier powder, but for me, I really hate the smell of this. That's what I don't like about it, and I feel like it just bugs me. The smell of it is so gross to me. So I know I'm gonna declutter this one. The next one that I actually want to declutter is the MAC and Patrick Star powder. I know this is so many people's favorite, and so many people love this powder. I just feel like for me personally on my under eyes, it does look a little bit heavy and it kind of really cakes up, and I don't like that. And I have a lot of other powders that I like better. And also I do like using this as kind of like a face powder to kind of set all over, but I don't know. I have other powders that I use for that, and I don't feel like it's worth keeping in my collection. I would rather pass it along to someone else who can get better use out of it. Now moving on to a few that I do like. I have this one from Cover FX. This is the Perfect Setting Powder. I do really enjoy this one. I feel like it's a really good translucent powder and I really like it. And then also this one from Becca. This is the Hydro Mist Set and Refresh Powder. I really enjoy this one. It's kind of different because it has that cooling sensation to it, which I really actually like, but I really like using this to set my under eyes. I feel like it does a really good job at that. So these two I'm definitely holding on to. From Lancome, I have two of their Absolute powders. So I have the Absolute Pearl and then also the Absolute Petch. The Absolute Pearl is more of an all over setting powder. I feel like this matches my skin tone really well. And then the Pearl I use more for kind of highlighting. This is a very pretty powder. So it has a little bit of glow to it and luminosity. So I like using this one to kind of highlight and this one for all over setting. So I'm gonna keep both of these. Stellar Beauty, I actually have 3 different face powders from them. So we have the Aurora powder, and then I also have the Glow 1 powder, and then I also have their Haze powder. So 3 different powders that you can use 3 different ways. So Aurora is a more glowy powder, very similar to the Lancome powder, but this one is a little bit too dark for my skin tone, so I cannot actually use this one. So I can go ahead and get rid of that one. And then we have the Glow 1, which is used kind of to set all over, and it's very similar to the Aurora powder, just a different shade. This one does work out for me, so I'm gonna hold on to that one. And then we have the Haze powder, and this one is used more for kind of setting, and it does brighten. I have used this on my under eyes, but it's absolutely just like not my favorite. I do like it, but it's just not my favorite. So I think I'm gonna declutter this one. Next one I have is from Shani Cosmetics, and this is just their Fairly Bloom powder. This is an HD powder. I didn't really care much for this one. It's just a little bit too white for me. It left kind of a bit of a white cast, so I'm gonna declutter this one. The RCMA powder, this is a really good one. I absolutely love it. It's a super affordable option, and it's a really good setting powder, so keeping this one. From Motives, I have their Banana powder. This is their Luminous Loose powder. I do really like the formula of this one, but again, it is just too dark for my skin tone. It just doesn't look very flattering, so I'm gonna declutter this one. Next, I have this one from Tarte. This is their Filtered Light Setting Powder, and I actually really enjoy this one. I feel like it does a really good job of smoothing out my under eyes. I need to reach for it more often, so I'm hoping with decluttering some other ones, I'll reach for it more often because I do really like this powder. Next, I have this one from Becca. This is their Soft Light Blurring Powder, and this one is in Pink Haze. So this is supposed to be like a brightening powder. I just find for me with the pink, I just don't love it. It doesn't do the best job of brightening for me. It's a very pink powder. I know a lot of people really like this one, but I think for me, I'm gonna go ahead and pass it along to someone who would like it better because I just don't reach for it very often. So from Tarte, I have their Smooth Operator. This is their Amazonian Clay Finishing Powder. This one I did not like. So I do like the other one that I have for Tarte, but this one just isn't my favorite, so I think I can declutter this one. And then also with that, I have the pressed version of that powder, and same thing, I don't really love this one. I remember purchasing this and getting excited about it, but I don't know, it's just not my favorite, so I'm gonna declutter it. Same thing with the NYX HD Finishing Powder. I was really excited to try this one out because I know a lot of people really like it. But again, I don't reach for it and it's not my favorite, so I'm gonna declutter this one as well. One of my favorites, such an oldie but a goodie, this is the Coverall Pressed Powder from Wet n Wild. I don't even think they make it in this packaging anymore. I have 2 different ones here. I absolutely love this. I feel like it's a really nice powder and it's so affordable, and I have, like I said, 2 different ones. I believe it has new packaging now, like I was saying, but I'm gonna keep both of these because I really enjoy this powder. Up I have my Laura Mercier. This is in Translucent, and it took me so long to buy this powder, but I really do enjoy it. I feel like people rave about this powder, but it definitely is a good one, and this is what I've been reaching for lately. I'm definitely keeping this. I actually have 2 different trial size ones. So this is in Universal, so these are her setting powders in Universal, and I didn't really like this shade as much, so I think I'm gonna get rid of these. You know what I think I'm gonna do is actually transfer. I think they're in the same shade, but I opened both of them, so I think I'm gonna transfer the powder to one, and then I'm gonna save one of these little packages so I can use it to take my translucent powder with me when I travel. And then next I have this one from Sonia Kashuk, and I remember that Kathleen Lights, I remember, was saying this was a really good powder. This is their brightening powder, but I don't know, I don't really like this. I feel like it looks kind of cakey on my skin, and so this one I'm gonna go ahead and declutter. Essence, this is their color correcting mattifying powder. I really don't use a mattifying powder very often. I'm someone who does reach for more translucent powders, so I think I can get rid of this one. It looks like I've used it quite a bit, but maybe I'll pass it along to a friend who will get some better use out of it. And then here I have a backup of my Stay Matte powder from Rimmel. Absolutely love this. I use mine all the time. Mine actually doesn't have a lid, so I left it in my beauty room, but this is just a backup that I got from them, so I'm definitely gonna hold on to this one. This one from Lottie London. So this is the Ready, Set, Go. This is a matte translucent finishing powder, and I don't remember liking this one or not liking this one. I can't remember. I know I've used it a few times, but I just don't remember. So I think I'm gonna hold on to this one. I'm gonna keep it in my collection because I think I've done pretty well with this declutter. And then if I don't use it within these next few weeks here, I'll go ahead and declutter it. And from IT Cosmetics, I have the Bye Bye Pores. This is a pressed powder, and I know that this one is broken, so I don't even wanna open it because I know it's broken. I do like this though. This is just like a deluxe size sample of it. So I think I'm gonna keep it. I need to fix it because like I said, it is all broken apart. I need to just go ahead and fix it. This one from Motives, this is their Filter HD powder. This is very similar to the one from NYX and the one from Tarte that I decluttered. I just don't really reach for this kind of HD powder very often. I think I reach more for like my Rimmel powder or my Wet n Wild, so I'm gonna declutter this one. I have this little blotting party powder from Tarte Cosmetics. So it's just like a blotting powder. You can take this on the to-go, and then it also has like these little blotting wipes in here as well. And I do like this for if I need that extra something when I'm out and about. I typically do not get very oily, but I do like having this on days when I know like it's gonna be really hot, or if I just need an extra touch me up, so I'm gonna keep this. All right, and here is a final view of all of the setting powders that I am decluttering. So we are decluttering 15 powders. That feels so good. I've had so many in my drawer that I just do not reach for, that are in the way, so I'm glad that I am getting the chance to declutter all of these. All right, and here's what I'm keeping. I am keeping 14 different powders, which I feel really good about because I do have a few duplicates in here with the Wet n Wild, as well as the Lancome, and also with the Rimmel. So I feel really good about how I've condensed it down. I know that there's only a few here that I'm gonna be using daily, so this makes me feel really good about what I am keeping. And I know that there's a few in here that I'm kind of on trial with still, but I feel really good how we did with this declutter. I know I didn't do as good as I have done in the past, but I definitely got rid of a lot of concealers and a lot of face powders, and I feel so much better about it. Make sure you guys check out my declutter playlist down below if you want to see more declutters from me. Also, give this video a thumbs up and let me know down in the comment section what other declutter videos you would like me to do. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye guys.